welcome back to this new series. I'm so excited. Just to be clear, I do not take any ownership over these books. Thank you. Chapter 1. Maria, we're going to be late. Maria ignored her father's call. She was painting the window trim in the attic bedroom and was nearly finished. Maria, her father called again, a little more loudly. You better go, her mother said. This can wait. Maria set her paintbrush down and untied the strings of the apron she had on over her school clothes. All right, she said as she hung the apron on a hook. But don't do any more work until I get home, promise? I promise, her mother said. I have to work on the plans for the Hudson's house today anyway. Maria went over to where her mother was seated at her drafting table and gave her a hug. I'm sure the house you're designing for them is nice, she said. But not as nice as my house, her mother laughed. Of course not. She said, I have all of my best ideas for you. Maria, coming! Maria shouted as she took one. Last look at the huge dollhouse sitting on the workbench. And we reluctantly went downstairs. Her father was waiting by the front door, the car keys in his hand. Maria's little brother, Jesse, was standing beside him with his backpack on and an impatient look on his 7-year-old face. Sorry, Maria said as she grabbed her coat from the closet and snatched up her own backpack. We were working on the house. We were going to be late. Jesse said, and I have a spelling test today, which I'm sure you would get a perfect score on, Maria said, putting her arm around him as they exited the house. I'll quiz you on the way to school. As she practiced, he got every word right. Maria, however, realized that she'd left her math homework sitting on the desk in her room, and her gym clothes on top of the dryer, where her father had left them for her. Next page. It was going to be that kind of day. I'll see you this afternoon, her father called out the car window as Maria and Jesse walked into school. Love you back, Maria and Jesse shouted in unison. Once they were inside the doors of Quellville Central School, Jesse headed left to the second grade classroom while Maria turned right and went up the stairs to fifth grade rooms were. When she got to her homeroom, she found everyone standing around Chris Dawn's desk. Maria hung up her coat and put her things in her cubby, then went to see what all the excitement was about. What's going on? She asked as she peered over the shoulder of her best friend Olivia. Winters, Krish had what looked to be several small action figures out on his desk. I think this one is my favorite, Krish said, picking up one of the figures and holding it out for everyone to see. He's called the Fishman of the Lost Lagoon. Marina leaned over and picked up one of the other figures. That one is the werewolf bride, Krish told her. Look at the flowers in her crown. They're covered in blood. She's cool, and said Maria. And the perfect size to live in my dollhouse. Maybe if your dollhouse was a castle in Transylvania, Olivia joked. Where you get these, Marina asked Krish. This awesome new snow star, said Krish. Frightville, it just opened. It's across the street from the grocery store between Comic Land and the Dirty Dog Wash Eateria. They sell all kinds of weird stuff. Before Maria could ask any more questions, Miss Taggart came in. All right, everyone, she said cheerfully. I hope you're ready for a pop quiz on algae and fungi. Maria handed the werewolf bride back to Krish and took her seat. Mrs. Taggart passed out the quizzes, and soon the room was filled with the sound of scribbling pencils. Thankfully, reading Chapter 7 in her science textbook was the one thing Maria had remembered to do. And so she answered the questions quickly. Although the section where she had to label the parts of the mushroom, she had to guess on a couple. The rest of the class was a lecture about spores. Maria tried to listen, but mostly she was thinking about her dollhouse she and her mother had been working on for the past few months. They'd started over summer break, drawing up the plans and then cutting the pieces and nailing and gluing them together. Now it was October. Everything had taken a long time because Maria wanted it to be perfect, and it was almost the one thing she didn't have for the dollhouse was someone to live in it. She'd been so busy building it, she hadn't even thought about what kind of person might live in the house. The house was a big Victorian-style 3-story with a tower and an attic bedroom and all. I'm just checking how many pages I have. Okay, not that long to go. Kinds of neat things her mother had designed. Maria wished she could live in her house like that too. Not that there was anything wrong with her actual house, but it was a little ordinary compared to the dollhouse, and an interesting house needed someone interesting to live in it. At lunchtime, Maria sat with Olivia and Krish and some of the other kids from her class. Maria used the opportunity to ask Krish more about where he got in the monster action figures. Do they have, anything a little less creepy, she asked. What, you don't want vampires and zombies living in your dollhouse? Max Jewish joked. I think a haunted dollhouse would be awesome. They have all kinds of stuff, Krish assured. Maria, you should go check it out. Maria decided she would. When her father met her and Jessie outside school that afternoon, she asked if they could make a detour on the way home. Sure, her brother said. I need to pick up a few things at the grocery store for dinner anyway. I'll drop you off and Jessie out. What did you call it? Frightville, Maria said. Frightville, her father said, chuckling. Sounds like a convention store for witches. Pick up some Eye of Newt for me, okay? I'll add it to the goulash I'm making for dinner. Will do, Dad, Maria said, looking at Jessie and rolling her eyes. Page. A few minutes later, they pulled into the parking lot of Frightville. Maria and Jessie got out of the car. The grocery store is right across the street, her father said, pointing to it as if they hadn't been inside a bunch of times. I'll be done in 20 minutes. Don't go anywhere else, okay? Got it, Maria assured him. Can we at least take some candy from strangers? Only if it's chocolate, her father said, pretending to be serious. None of those liquor drops, so gummy pumpkins, though. Maria laughed. Okay, Dad, she said as Jessie pulled her toward the store. See you in a little while. Thank you for watching. See you next time.